OFPG Voices is brought to you by the following sponsors. Board&Dice designs and publishes family and strategy board games. Two of their most recent releases are Talatum and Terracotta Army. They have recently launched their ally program to lend support to underrepresented voices in the hobby. World Series of Board Gaming in Las Vegas, September 24th to the 28th. It has 16 different games to compete in, an open gaming library, and a grand prize of $25,000. So there's something for you if you're a casual gamer or a competitive one. For tickets, check out WSBGVegas.com. Use referral code OFPG23 for a $40 discount off the Stay and Play or Quadruple Ring event packages. Hi everybody, I'm Starla.
I'm Mick.
And we are
Our Family Plays Games. Voices, yeah. Yeah.
And welcome back.
Yes, welcome back. Black History Month.
Black History Month.
Yeah.
Yes, February.
Yes. Yes,
So we got a lot going on this month.
Yes, we do.
And we've got some great contributors this week.
Yes, we do.
So we hope you'll stay tuned to see everyone.
Well, we always got great contributors.
Yes. And also, you know what else is this month?
What?
Valentine's Day.
That's right.
It's coming
Valentine's
Day.
She looking at me, family. She looking at me, family.
Valentine's Day.
She looking at me, family.
We'll see what happens on
We're going to be
Valentine's
just
Day.
fine, family. We're going to be fine.
Okay, I
gonna be
can't
fine.
have any candy.
What?
I don't want any candy.
No. See,
No
no.
candy.
We're on a weight loss journey.
That's right.
Now, if you see on our episodes, we're doing our weight loss journey. So we got to be cool with
So
that.
you got to be a little more creative than
You
a
gotta
box
be
of
cool.
candy.
Yes, I will be.
Okay.
There can't be no flowers either,
Yeah,
because
I'm not really a
flowers
flower person.
they just die.
Yeah. So
They just
I
die.
like jewelry.
See, here we go, family. Here we go.
And some jewelry.
Here we go,
I'm
family.
just throwing some things out.
Here we
We're throwing
go.
some things out.
Here we go. But we're going to be fine. We're going to be
Have a
fine.
great
All right.
Valentine's Day. So before we get into everything, we want
Yeah.
to tell you what's going on in this episode.
What's going on?
All right, so we're going to start off with Aaron from GameEnthus.
Okay.
He's going to talk about the game Her Story.
Okay. Okay. All right.
And right after that, Melanie.
Yes.
She's going to talk about games for Valentine's Day.
Well, see there. Okay, there
like
we go.
Patchwork,
Okay.
and Marrying Mr. Darcy,
Okay.
and Love Letter,
Okay.
and Fog of Love.
Yes.
All
Okay.
those lovely games.
Lovely games. Yes.
And last but not least on the show, we're going to have our Panda Talks
Yes.
with Amanda Panda.
The Panda. Yeah.
And she's going to have a little quick interview with Emma Larkins.
Love Emma.
The designer
Love her.
of Abandon All Artichokes.
Yes.
And they're going to talk about some African-American designers
Okay.
in honor of Black History Month.
All right, I love that. But family, before we get through any of that, we got to hear from Starla with her Good Human segment. Here we go.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another segment of Good Humans. As this is the month of February, we are going to talk about Black History Month. Now, Black History Month was created to focus attention on the contributions of African Americans in the United States. It honors all Black people from all periods of U.S. history, from the enslaved people to African Americans living in the United States today. As we know, Black history is American history. Too often, the contributions of Black Americans are forgotten, omitted, or presented as a footnote in American history books and classes. This is why we celebrate Black History Month. So first, I want to just kind of focus on 4 notable figures who helped advance the cause of Black people and people of color in America. Starting off with Carter G. Woodson. He was a historian, an author, a journalist, and he is best known for his role in establishing Black History Week, which has become Black History Month. Next, let's look at Frederick Douglass. Now, Frederick Douglass was an abolitionist, an orator, a writer, and a statesman, and he's best known for his role in the abolition of slavery. Then there's Malcolm X. Malcolm X was an American Muslim minister, a human rights activist, and a prominent figure in the civil rights movement. And last but not least, of course, there's Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., an American Baptist minister and he could be considered the most prominent leader of the civil rights movement. Now, these are just 4 people that are part of Black history that we know about, and it's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to good humans like these who gave their lives so that Black people and all people of color could have the same rights that all humans deserve. They believed, as we believe, that no one, and I mean no one should have their humanity diminished based on the color of their skin. Now, as we always say here at OFPG Voices, our goal is to make this world a better place, one board gamer at a time. Have a great day, everybody.
Hey, it's Aaron from GameEnthus.com, and the game I'll be teaching this time is Her Story from Underdog Games. Her Story is an open drafting set collection light engine building game. Her Story was designed by Nick Bentley, Danielle Reynolds, and Emerson Matsuchi. Her Story is playable from 2 to 5 players and plays in about 30 to 60 minutes. In Her Story, players are going to be playing the role of an author who has been tasked with putting together a book comprised of various chapters about many women throughout history. As is the case with many Underdog Games games, Her Story does not necessarily emphasize the educational aspects over that of gameplay, but does a really good job of representing them both very well together. Let me show you how it plays. So this is a 2-player setup for Her Story, where each player is going to have a library card that basically functions to refresh these research tokens here. I'll talk about those more in a moment. Each player is going to have a desk board where they're going to have an area for drafts and then their final chapters. The game is playable from 2 to 5 players, and there are player aids for each player. In addition to all that, you're going to have the idea board, which is this whole board here. It's actually a mat. It's quite nice, actually. And then you have the area where you're going to have the chapter cards. Given that it's Black History Month, I decided it would be apropos for me to focus on Black women, many of whom are depicted in chapter cards in the chapter deck. I do wish I had the time to go through all the Black women who are featured in this chapter deck. I decided to pick some Black women who might not be quite as well known. We have Katherine Johnson. You're familiar with Katherine Johnson because of the movie Hidden Figures. Katherine Johnson was a mathematician and a NASA scientist whose skill in analytic geometry earned her a job with NASA, as she was involved in calculating trajectories for Alan Shepard's first space flight and the Apollo 11. Henrietta Lacks. Henrietta Lacks's cancer cells have been integral and pivotal in the development of various vaccines and in cancer research still used to this day. She passed away in 1951. And despite most cells dying, her cells actually reproduced. Edmonia Lewis. Edmonia Lewis was the first Black and indigenous sculptor to gain international fame. She sculpted the Death of Cleopatra, weighing in at 3,000 pounds. Her Death of Cleopatra sculpture can be found in the Smithsonian today. Claudette Colvin. Claudette Colvin was a civil rights activist and advocate. Claudette Colvin, who is still alive today, refused to give up her seat in Montgomery, Alabama, 9 months before Rosa Parks did. And last but certainly not least, Cathay Williams. Cathay Williams first served as an army cook and a washerwoman during the Civil War. In 1866, she disguised herself as a man and enlisted in the 38th U.S. Infantry Regiment. It was not until 1868, 2 years later, when doctors found out that she was indeed a woman and she was honorably discharged. A fictionalized version of this character can also be seen in the movie The Harder They Fall on Netflix. Beneath the 5 chapter cards on the idea board, you're going to have 6 spots of research tokens. These are what the symbols mean. You have the push pins for going around the scoring of the idea board. And if you look at each of the cards, there is a number in the upper left corner. That is the number of points that you will get when that card moves from one of your draft areas into one of your chapter areas. And as the cards begin to cascade, some of the cards have permanent resources. The Henrietta Lacks card gives you a searching bonus. So going forward, should you write a chapter about Henrietta Lacks, you will have a permanent 2 searching tokens, which can be very useful. However, it is worth noting that should you use the permanent resources on one of the cards in your chapters, you have to use all of those resources. If I was trying to unlock Claudette Colvin's chapter card and I needed one more thinking bonus, I wouldn't be able to use this because Katherine Johnson's card comes with 2. You have to use all of the icons on the cards, not just some of them. Whereas when it comes to the tokens, you're able to use whatever you need to that's on them. So on your turn, you're able to do one of 3 different actions. One action is you're able to take a research token and place it onto your board. And you replenish from this bag. Another action you can take is you're able to draft a card. So if I draft Kimelia Williams, I don't score 5 points. It's because the chapter I'm writing is currently a draft. One little correction here. When you draft a card and place it into one of the 2 spots in your drafting area, you always give yourself 2 points on the scoring track for starting a draft chapter. Many of the chapter cards have ongoing abilities. Kimelia Williams says, if you're not leading, you get 2 points when you complete a drafted chapter. And then the third action you can take is, should you have necessary icons on the tokens, you can use them. So I need 3 searching, and I need 3 interviewing. Discard them, and then bring that chapter over and score the points for it. Once someone's written their 8th chapter, the end of the game is triggered. The round will continue, so everybody gets an even number of turns. Whoever has the most points wins. That is how you play Her Story. Her Story is a game that offers a lot for children and people who used to be children to learn, as there are a plethora of chapter cards with which to refamiliarize yourself with or learn for the first time. Not only are there many Black women whose contributions are reflected on many of the chapter cards, there are women of all different backgrounds. That is Her Story, iconic women of history, Underdog Games. I'm Aaron from GameEnthus.com. Thank you for watching.
Hey everybody, so Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and I thought this would be a perfect opportunity to look at a few loved themed board games. So the first one that I'm going to mention is Patchwork, which is not loved theme, but Patchwork Valentine's Day Edition is. So this is just a great 2-player game at any edition that they have. You take turn buying these tiles or acquiring these tiles to add to your quilt. Now in the Valentine's Day edition, I think it's a chocolate box you're putting together and trying to create and have as little holes as you can and trying to get everything in there nice and tight. This is such a neat, great 2-player game. That is one that I like to bring to the table often when we're just me and my husband. The next one that I have is Marrying Mr. Darcy. Now, his Pride and Prejudice is just not the most romantic love story out there, or at least it's been around the longest. And what's neat with this game too is you could play it with the Undead expansion if you're not into Pride and Prejudice, and maybe you would enjoy Pride and Prejudice and zombies more. This is just a really neat card game. You're playing as one of the characters from the novel, and you're trying to acquire the skills and the attributes that your potential future husband is looking for. Now, depending on who you are, certain match would suit you better and give you a better score. So you're acquiring all of these, as I mentioned, skills and attributes. And then at the second set of the game, you're rolling dice to see if your beau are going to propose. And then it's a bit of a push your luck. So you get the proposal from a suitor that's actually not that great of a opportunity for you. This is not one that would give you a whole lot of score. So you can pass on that proposal and go to the next one that you've got the interest for. Now, you roll the dice again and maybe he doesn't propose. The previous proposal is gone. You don't get that one anymore. So then you go to the next one. So are you possibly holding out for Mr. Darcy, hoping that he'll propose? And then what if he doesn't? Then you become an old maid. Oh, the horror. This is such a neat game. It's so satisfying to play. And of course, bad British accent comes out every time we play this. The next one that I have is Love Letter. Love Letter is such a very cool, simple card game. There's 16 cards. That's it. And it's very simple. You have one card, you draw one card, and you play one. The goal is trying to eliminate the other players Or if you're playing just the two of you, just the other player, and we play it 2 players often, it's still a really good game. Or you're trying to get at the end of the game with the highest valued card. And then if you win the round, you get a love token from the princess. And depending on the number of players you're playing, whoever gains the most love token or a certain number of love tokens wins the game. This one is so satisfying to play. It's really neat. And then my plans for Valentine's Day is to get a game off my shelf of shame. And this is Fog of Love. Just reading the back of the board game, it looks like this is an RPG game where you're simulating a relationship. So it sounds very interesting. I'm really excited to give it a try, and I've heard great things about it. Now, some things that I've heard, is it really a game? Is it more of an experience? I don't know. I'm hoping to find out. Now, I'm very interested to see if you have any gaming plans for Valentine's Day. And be sure to share those in the comments below and see what you're doing for Valentine's Day. Bye, everybody.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Panda Talks, where today Panda's talking to Emma Larkins.
Hi.
For those of you who don't know, she is the extraordinary designer of Abandon All Artichokes that you can find at absolutely anywhere, like Target, Barnes and Nobles. I mean, I'm surprised it's not in my grocery stores, like in the artichoke section. But it is African American Heritage Month, so I decided, why don't we talk about some of our favorite African American designers? So, Emma, do you want to go first so that I don't take your pick?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I want to mention a couple of designers. I was really excited to discover Kimelia Weathers recently. The game that she has put out is Brilliant or BS. A trivia game for know-it-alls and big fat liars.
Oh my god, that sounds so funny.
Yes, I know a lot of people have very mixed feelings about trivia games.
Right.
But what's great about Brilliant or BS is it's not about knowing the answers at all. And also, on the cards, it is multiple choice, too. So there's ABC. There's 3 options. So right off the bat, you don't have to come up with the answer out of nowhere. You have choices. You choose secretly what the answer is, and then the judge or the person with the card who's reading out the answers goes around and asks every person why they would know the answer to this question. So, for example, there was one about bowling, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm a terrible liar, so half the time I was like, I watched a documentary on bowling. But one of my friends said, oh yeah, we had a bowling unit in high school, and for like a whole semester we just learned everything about bowling. And I totally couldn't tell if she was lying or not. I wasn't judging either. So after that round, I was like, did you really do a bowling unit in high school? She was like, yeah.
Oh, it was true.
Yeah. So it's, and the questions, kind of typical trivia stuff, entertainment, sports, that kind of thing. But sometimes, because there's only 3 answers, you can luck into the answer. And it's less about getting the correct answer and more about if you can convince the person that you know what you're talking about, because there's a couple of cards the judge can give out and there's extra points there. And yeah, it was very fun. It was very easy for everyone to get into. So just great marks all around. Can't recommend that enough. That's Brilliant or BS by Kimelia Weathers. The other person I have to give a shout out to is Omari Akil.
Yes.
And, yeah.
You took one of mine.
I know. We just, because you can't turn around in a board game store these days without discovering an Omari Akil game. But a couple of things specifically that I wanted to give shout outs to that you might not know about is Omari Akil does a TTRPG mixtape.
Yes.
Ko-fi.
Yes.
Coffee, I don't know how you...
Ko-fi?
Ko-fi, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. You can subscribe, and it's a combination of game design and music, because Omari also does amazing music. So I really love the creativeness of combining those things. And a game that hasn't come out yet, but should be coming out soon, and had the Kickstarter last year, the year before, was, I think it was the year before, was Critical Care.
Yes.
And that was a game that he did with Lakshman Swamy.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to play test it early on, and I got to see them at Gen Con too, where they were demoing it. Oh yeah, Omari had this great booth with,
it was amazing.
Factions Battlegrounds
Yeah.
and a bunch of other great game by a Black designer. Factions Battlegrounds is one that you should check out. But yeah, Critical Care is a really interesting cooperative game where you're working in a hospital, because Omari's co-designer actually is an ER doctor.
Yes. It was funny because at the booth they were dressed in scrubs and people thought that they were not like real, and they're like, you shouldn't do that, but they're like, we're actually doctors.
right, yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah. And so you have both sides of it there. You have the really deep knowledge about the medical care side of it, and then from mechanical perspective, it's one of the cooperative games that I played where it really felt like everybody was doing really important things, and there was a lot of subtle mechanics in there that felt it just really married the mechanics and the theme really well. So
Agreed.
I'm excited to get my copy of that when the Kickstarter delivers. I'm not sure where to, like, if they have any pre-release sign up if you didn't get it on the Kickstarter, but just add it to your list or follow Omari, who's always making cool stuff.
He was like my top pick. But I'm gonna say another one is Fertessa. Fertessa is currently designing like games with Funko, but she had Wicked and Wise with Weird Giraffe Games. Mansplaining. While you were talking about the BS game, Mansplaining came to my mind, and that was such a fun card game where you are trying to mansplain a idea that's on a card, and you're trying to sneak in certain words so that it's not obvious, but if people catch on to which words you snuck in, then they get points. But it is hilarious. I love playing it with just a big group of women, and you can get anyone into it because it's so quick and everyone knows what a mansplaining is, and it's hilarious when you're like, but you know,
I should have also given a shout out to that, because Mansplaining is seriously my favorite game that I've played over the last couple of years, and it's hard to put it into words until you have the experience, but you go into kind of this like fugue state where your mouth is like just saying, it's like pizza truck, antimony, bagel delivery store, you know, and you kind of like black out, and then you say all these things. It sounds like you're dream rambling or something. So I do want to say, like, if you are a person who is possibly a little offended by the name of it, that still give it a chance. Because it is a really good, solid, fun game, great party game, and I can't wait to buy it. I've seen copies of it. It's available now. I'm like, I can get my hands on it.
So, what games have you coming out that you want to promote and get everyone excited for?
Big one is Starry Night Sky, coming out very soon. Keep your eyes open. I personally like to keep track of things not in my brain because I never remember things. So Starry Night Sky has a page up on BGG on Board Game Geek. You can just look for Starry Night Sky. You can wishlist it there. It's being published by Buffalo Games, and they also have a page on their website where you can sign up for emails to get alerted when the game launches. And it's I'm like, how do I describe this exactly? It's a game with constellations, not real constellations. They're all made up. But you have a shared bag of plastic stars. You're pulling stars out of the bag. They're really cool see-through, translucent colored plastic, and you're putting them down on the board. Moving your little telescope from constellation to constellation, and you have lots of different ways to get points. It's pretty easy to get into game. It feels pretty chill and just kind of like you can relax, play some stars, get some points, chat with your friends. and it has a really good vibe to it. So I'm really excited to get it into people's hands and start to see what people think about the published version.
So thank you so much, Emma, for joining me for this episode.
That was another great episode.
Another great episode. Now let me
awesome.
tell you. Now her story, I definitely want to check out.
Yes. Have you seen? I mean, the box art itself is so interesting.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's colorful.
And they put
it's diverse.
It's diverse.
Yes.
That's what we want. Diversity and inclusion. And they gave us all that.
They gave us all that.
And then, Melanie.
I love Melanie.
Patchwork. We did a Valentine's Day episode, a playthrough with Patchwork a long time ago. It seemed like a long time ago, family now. But we did that.
Yeah.
And then also, what is that? Love Letter? We love Love Letter.
We love Love Letter.
Especially Batman Love Letter.
Batman Love Letter.
We love Batman Love Letter. And, now Fog of Love, we did play.
We tried it.
It was all right.
Okay.
It was cool. But, here go Amanda Panda.
Amanda Panda.
There she go. But I love Emma.
Emma's
really
awesome.
cool. And I love what they did.
Yeah,
I love what they did.
Me too.
I love Amanda.
I just love our community so much. Yes. And our awesome sponsors.
Yes.
We have Board&Dice.
Yes.
And the World Series of Board Gaming.
That I'm excited about.
Yes.
I'm excited
Coming
about
up
World
this
Series
year.
of Board Gaming. Yeah, I'm excited about that. And now, Starla, what about our merch?
Well, if you want an OFPG Voices shirt or an Our Family Plays game shirt, check us out on Spring.
Yes, please do. Because trying to make a better place.
Making this world a better place, one board gamer at a time.
We need that's good for this month. That's good for this month. Gotta start somewhere. That's good. And good humans. We gotta do that this month for sure.
Everybody needs to be a good human.
But not just this month, but every month. Every month we gotta do that. Now, Starla, the next episode is gonna be February 22nd, 2023, family. So definitely roll on through and check it out.
Yes.
Definitely. Now, Starla, on the other episode, on our main episode, you said that we got to get 30,000 subscribers this year. We can do it. So in order to do that, where can they find us out there? RPG, and then RPG Voices. Where can they find us?
Well, if you're looking for Our Family Plays Games, our OFPG Voices, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and right here on YouTube.
Right here. Family, thank you so much for coming out and looking at these beautiful voices. And please go support our sponsors. Definitely go out and check them out. Give them some business because they're doing a great thing by supporting these voices now. So let's do that, family. Oh, and another thing. Give us any questions, comments. We love hearing from you. But there's one thing, family. There's one thing we want you to always know. We love you. Bye now. Everybody.